A big severe weather outbreak is setting its way up here for next week as the Storm Prediction Center has set 2 days of severe weather here for Monday and Tuesday. Big severe weather is expected. Okay, so before we go ahead and get on into that later severe weather outbreak, let's talk about today's concerns because we do have a lot of severe weather expected for today. Tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds is on the table. Now, we have a pretty big slight risk here for today across western Texas, cutting through Oklahoma into Kansas and a little bit of Nebraska. That level 1 marginal risk goes up into the Great Lakes region here, a little bit of severe weather possible towards like Wisconsin and central Michigan. And also in the deep south here, we do have a little bit of a severe weather risk across portions of like central southern Georgia and throughout the coastal Carolinas here where a little bit of severe weather will be possible. Now, Storm Prediction Center has actually upgraded the risk here for tornadoes. We now have a 5% chance for tornadoes across western Kansas, including areas out by Garden City. Will be in that risk for tornadoes today. 2% chance across the green, relatively low in chance. A little bit of the panhandle of Oklahoma and a panhandle of Texas included in today's tornado risk too. And another little isolated tornado risk in far western Texas here overall. Now, as far as it goes towards like the Carolinas in the south, there is no tornado threat for today. Same thing for the Great Lakes region. Tornado-wise, we are looking good. Now, damaging winds, we do have ourselves a pretty big 15% risk here for gusty winds within the storms ranging between 60 to 70 miles an hour. 15% chance probability of that occurring across the yellow and a 5% chance here across the brown. In the south, we have that brown area, which is a 5% chance probability here for damaging winds overall. Now, lastly, we do have ourselves a hail risk, actually a pretty decent hail risk here. Big 15% risk, kind of similar to that wind risk overall, where we could see some hail across the regions here in brown, which is a 5% chance, and the yellow 15% chance, ranging between 1 to 2 inches in diameter. Okay, everybody, so I want to go ahead and take a minute to talk about our sponsor, which is Aguacero. This is honestly my favorite application to track and monitor the weather. A brand new application, honestly, above all the ones I've ever forecasted with. So what makes this one so special is that you can literally add multiple layers on. So we have our dew point loaded here. I can go ahead and grab a sounding for a random time just to kind of look at what the atmosphere looks like. And you can also play throughout the environment. You guys can see how the environment changes as we move through time, which is very special for this application. And we can look at all kinds of different things. We'll go ahead and pull up our humidity now. And say I have the humidity here. Say I wanted to add radar. Super simple. Go to add new layer. You go to precipitation, add composite reflectivity, and you fill that in, and boom, you got yourself the radar, the future radar that is overlaid on top of it. And literally, the possibilities are endless. Now, I do got a pretty cool thing for you guys. You guys can get 20% off your first month here with the code NWW20. Here is the URL if you guys do want to check it out. I would highly check out. I'd highly consider checking out this application. It is just amazing. All right, everybody, so I want to go ahead and do a little bit of a model analysis to kind of see what we're in store for here for Monday and Tuesday. So we're taking a look at the GFS model here. We work our way down in time, and you can see once we hit our way into Monday, we really start pulling up a lot of instability here across a lot of the plains, which eventually kind of works its way over here into the Midwest here for Monday, going into Tuesday here, which continues throughout portions of the Ohio Valley. Now, this is our fuel. This is the instability for these storms to occur, in which you can see we definitely do build in a lot of energy here, especially for late Monday. You can kind of see we're going to go ahead and grab a random sounding here across just central Iowa, just to kind of see what we're looking at here. Now, looking at the sounding, we do have some curvature to our hodographs here, which indicates a bit of veering wind shear in the lower atmosphere, which can be a concern for tornadoes. You know, definitely do have some pretty strong wind shear throughout the atmosphere, really good amounts of instability here, great moisture, upper 60 dew points. It's going to be very muggy out here. So bottom line is, you know, we build in a lot of instability and whatnot. Now, I do want to go ahead and add another layer here. We're going to take a look at the wind shear because I'm kind of curious to see what the upper level winds are going to kind of look like here. So we're going to go ahead and bring up the 850 millibar winds, and we're going to add the wind barbs here just to kind of see how strong our lower level jet is going to be. Now, that is a very big thing for tornadic activity, is a strong lower level jet, in which we do have here, you can see overlapping the instability. I mean, we are talking over 50 knots potentially of instability. Now, this is still several days out. You know, there is still likely going to be some changes in the models and everything, but kind of getting an early look at things, you know, it definitely does look pretty concerning, you know, given the fact we have a lot of instability, you know, and a lot of wind shear, you know, the great combination for a decent severe weather event here. So we really do need to be looking out there for this. Now, lastly, I do want to to go ahead and actually pull up our dew point here, to kind of look at our surface moisture, just to kind of see what we could be in store for. Alrighty, so you can actually see here, according to the GFS, I mean, we really advect a lot of moisture here, a lot of deep moisture coming up from the Gulf here. I mean, allowing for those dew points here to potentially be in the mid to possibly even upper 60s, which is really, really good moisture being supplied to these storms. So as we've already looked out, there's tons of instability or fuel for these storms. There is a lot of moisture there, which is really, really good. And lastly, there is some pretty strong wind shear here, which is really kind of the main three things you need for a decent severe weather outbreak. So like we mentioned, Monday and Tuesday are going to be the days of severe weather that we do need to be looking out here for. Now, hopping over here back to the SPC, which I'll go ahead and show you guys here once again for Monday's risk. We have areas out there included in like Oklahoma, out there by Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, portions of Iowa, Minnesota, a little bit of eastern South Dakota as of now, and Wisconsin here for Monday. Going into Tuesday, which that risk goes a little bit to the east as that cold front advances eastward, all the way down from northeastern Texas, all the way going through the Midwest and up into the Great Lakes region here, where even areas out by Michigan could see severe weather here for Tuesday. So just a bit of a heads up there for you guys. So once again, everybody, you all just please be careful out there. Real quickly before I roll off here, we do have ourselves a risk tomorrow for severe weather, which is just a level 1 severe weather threat here. Nothing too big. A little tornado risk across Oklahoma, Kansas, and a little bit of the panhandle of Texas here, following a little bit of a concern for gusty winds and hail being a concern. Hail between 1 to 2 inches in diameter, gusty winds upwards of 60, worst case scenario upwards to 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts within the storm. And then working our way over here into day 3, which obviously today we have Wednesday, so that's day 1. Day 2 will be Thursday. Day 3 will be for Friday. Here for Friday, we have a little bit of a risk out there towards Oklahoma and portions of Texas with a big generalized thunderstorm risk. Now, you guys have probably been wondering what that means here. Just a potential for a couple booms of thunder. A little bit of thunderstorm activity can't be ruled out, but nothing severe is expected. But alrighty, everybody, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you guys did enjoy it, consider leaving a like and hitting that subscribe button. Be greatly appreciated, everybody. Once again, go ahead and check out Aguacero. It is an absolutely amazing application. I would highly recommend it. I typically don't do sponsors on this channel, but this is one I could not pass up. I just had to do this because it's just such an amazing application, and I use it daily to forecast the weather. So once again, you guys can get 20% off your first month using code NWW20, and here is the URL. Once again, you guys can check out. Once again, everybody, thank you all for joining. We'll do a live stream later this evening, so if you guys would be interested in that, be sure you turn on those notifications, leave a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It'll be greatly appreciated. And alright, everybody, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. See you later on.